This is a vacant property in the city of West Sacramento. Like many cities, we have way too many of these. In the long term, we'd like to see all the vacant properties in our urban areas developed with new residential or commercial development, but we know that doesn't happen overnight. So in the meantime, we look for interim uses to try and minimize the negative effects that these vacant properties can have on our neighborhoods. One of our favorite interim uses is the urban farm. We love urban farms because they make the farm sites themselves more attractive, they make the neighborhoods more attractive, they make the neighborhoods more walkable and safer, and they create urban growth pathways or economic growth pathways for urban farmers. And they do all of this while providing fresh local produce for our residents, many of whom live in food deserts. This is Martin. If you want to be our next urban farmer, your application is going to go through Martin, and he's going to tell you whether or not the city is going to collaborate with you. But don't wait by the phone, because Martin's a very busy man. He's got a lot on his plate, because he's also our city manager. So you might be waiting for your call, and he's running a $100 million municipal corporation. So it might take a little while. So the system that we've set up has been successful. We've actually created 6 farms in collaboration with the Center for Land-Based Learning, but it's not very nimble and it would be difficult to scale. So what we really needed was a program that would allow us to match farmers with the owners of vacant properties in a way that didn't require such an intensive investment of staff resources.
So when my teammates and I arrived in West Sacramento, we found that one of the farms John talked about at 5th and C, it was already sprouting. There were kale and leafy greens, beets and chard all over the place, and it was going great, and there were more farms on the way. Unfortunately, we also heard about some of the work it took. I'm not doing that. Some of the hard work that it took for getting those farms started. Like John mentioned, the city manager had to spend a lot of time going through the property that they had and introducing the farmers to that property. And then the farmers had to drive around and look at each of those properties individually. So then we worked with the farmers, and we heard about what they really needed to know, stuff about the lands, like how much water was available and how much nutrients were in the soil, and that was stuff that was hard for the city to get out of their database, but they did have that knowledge. So we built Acres to try and surface that knowledge directly to the farmers in a farmer-friendly manner. Now, someone who works for the city or is even a private landowner can just go on to the site, draw a property on the map, and it automatically creates a listing like this that shows the water that's available from the database and the soil info that we know from the USDA, and it posts it for the farmer, who can then simply contact the landowner or the city and start creating a lease agreement. But after the farm is up and running, the farmers need to do something with this produce. They need to sell it. And so when we reached out to local community members and did interviews and found out what they knew about the urban farms, it was great to hear how excited they were, but it seemed like they were lacking the specific information they needed to actually buy food. How much is it, and where do they get it? When is it available? So we made another product called FarmStand. FarmStand has a simple web and mobile interface that shows that information to the residents in the way that they care about, and it has an easy way for farmers to enter that data into their phones, which is what they have at the farm sites. And now we're working on getting residents signed up, meeting them where they are in person, and collecting phone numbers and emails so that they can receive updates about the produce that's available when the farmers update it.
The implications of our work with Code for America, we believe, are enormous. Thanks to our partnership with the Sacramento Area Council of Governments, or SACOG, FarmStand and Acres are going to be made available not just in West Sacramento, but across the entire 6-county, 22-city SACOG region, which is a big deal. Thanks. Thank you, SACOG. And also, the data aggregation that will be necessary to make Acres and FarmStand work is going to further a project that SACOG's already working on, which is to create a regional data portal for this entire Sacramento region, so that not just food-related data, but all the open data sets that the jurisdictions in that region have created will be available on one easy-to-find location online. At the city level, we're using the agile development principles that we learned from Code for America to help improve processes that we have at the city, including our special event permit process, and our internal travel reimbursement program, which I'm going to have to use when I get back from this trip, and it's appalling, I can assure you, so I can hardly wait for that to get fixed. Finally, Well, one of the most exciting things about the project is that we believe by aggregating supply and demand information about local produce, acres and farm stand or their successor programs as we improve them, will create for the first time the ability for institutional food purchasers like school districts and hospitals to view urban farms as a reliable source for bulk quantities of fresh local produce. And that has implications across a whole bunch of dimensions. We're really excited about that. It's been great to work on this project. It's been an honor. Grant and Imanol and Natasha have been great to work with, and we look forward to reaping the benefits of our collaboration with Code for America for many years to come. Thanks.